What's going on, YouTube? Facebook, TikTok, or wherever the hell you're watching from? I'm Anthony Greeno from True Crime Investigates.
Don't forget to share this episode with your friends and use the hashtags to join the conversation. Cheeker True Crime Rewind Podcast. Cheeker Anthony Greeno.
Currently, I am transitioning to another channel where I've developed a brand new podcast that I will be converting into video after the completion of Murder on the Monon, which I anticipate will be completed on February 14th, 2025, marking 8 long years that I've been following this case. If you are interested in listening to my in-depth true crime coverage on the Delphi Murders and other true crime cases, then you want to subscribe to the show on Spotify or Apple Podcast.
You can even follow us on Facebook to catch live streams.
Just head on over and hit the like button
and share your favorite clips and episodes to your friends.
Welcome to episode 9 of True Crime Rewind with me, Anthony Greeno. Today we're tearing apart the lies, manipulation, and baseless theories spread by some of the most notorious conspiracy channels out there. We're talking about All Eyes on Delphi, Michelle After Dark, The Prof, and others. These channels thrive on misinformation and outright deceit, refusing to accept facts when they don't fit their narrative. This has all been caused by a shady defense team who've leaked crime scene photos to the public through influencing social media content creators to spread misinformation to the followers of millions combined between the 100 plus notable personalities. These include defense attorneys, mainstream media outlets, and YouTubers in collaboration with big figures on X, formerly known as Twitter, Instagram, and Reddit. Even celebrities, inmates, police, and experts are joining in on the scandal. A cyber scandal of sorts, perpetuating lies in mass distribution on the internet in an attempt to incite public outrage, all of which is based on lies. Trying to free a convicted and self-admitted child killer, Richard Allen. For nearly 8 years, the hunt for the bridge guy and a tumultuous trial has haunted my small community of Delphi.
Seen the felt he's always near. Bridge guy brings us endless fear. Lanterns flicker, rainbows down. Secrets buried in this town. Clues are scattered, truths unfold. Lies are shattered, stories told. Footsteps echo on the path. Fear grows heavy aftermath. Cold eyes watching from the dark. Lost in silence leaves its mark. Who is he? The bridge guy hides in the corners where darkness rides. Unseen, the felt he's always near. Bridge guy brings us endless fear. Ooh.
So, let's get into it and separate fact from fiction.
Segment 1. The Obsession with Odinism.
First up, let's talk about the ridiculous fixation on connecting Odinism to the murders. These conspiracy theorists claim that because someone said it, it must be true. Let me make this crystal clear. That's hearsay, not evidence. Not a single person in these Facebook groups or forums has provided anything remotely resembling credible proof to support this claim. They're grasping at straws, trying to make connections where none exist.
If you're someone who believes someone said counts as evidence, you need to rethink your approach. Conjecture is not proof, period.
Segment 2. The Case of Elvis Fields.
Now, let's dive into a prime example of how these conspiracy theorists twist the truth. Elvis Fields, they love to push this narrative that Fields, a man with the mental capacity of a 7-year-old, is somehow involved in the crime. They're calling for his arrest based solely on his statements, but here are the facts they conveniently ignore.
GPS evidence. Fields' GPS data shows he never left Rushville on the day of the crime or in the days before and after.
Crime scene details. His statements don't match the actual details of the crime scene.
Credibility issues. An officer testified that Fields and his sister were fabricating information. Both suffer from severe mental health disorders, including schizophrenia and paranoid delusions. Alibi. Fields was seen at a convenience store in Rushville, Indiana at 2:44 p.m. on the day of the crime.
Yet these conspiracy theorists persist, ignoring all the evidence that clears Fields. This is the kind of nonsense that clogs up real investigative efforts. Ladies and gentlemen, basing your theories on conjecture isn't just lazy, it's harmful. If you're that invested in the case, maybe it's time to put in the actual work. You might even find yourself a little less angry.
Before we continue, a quick shout out to our affiliate partners. Supporting them helps keep this podcast going, so check them out.
Let's take a moment to talk about one of our favorite sponsors, Cash App.
Whether you're splitting dinner,
Sending money to a friend,
or even investing in stocks,
Cash App makes it fast, secure, and simple.
download the app today using our link and get a special bonus when you sign up.
Supporting Cash App supports True Crime Rewind.
Episodes 1 through 9 are out now, covering the Delphi Murders case.
The case is over, with talk of an appeal. But I'm here to tell you about it all, right now on the True Crime Rewind podcast.
Where you need to be.
Subscribe to the new YouTube channel for live streams and case discussion with call-in nights and giveaways.
Learn more about the release of Murder on the Monon, as we reveal more behind-the-scenes footage and promotional content, detailing clips of the series for the future. In Episode 1 of the True Crime Rewind, Delphi Murders, final chapter, Greeno and Marv explained the key aspects of the case timeline, the jury trial and sentencing for the bridge guy, Richard Allen. A somber moment in time that left us with hope for the future that the event that has haunted our dreams was finally over. After 8 long years, case closed. In Episode 2, the hellish nightmare returns as the Odinism theory comes back into the spotlight, pushing people to join in on the campaign to free a convicted killer. Episode 3 highlighted transparency within the judicial branch of the government as Anthony Greeno has now flip-flopped his opinions on his stance, files a cease and desist with the court and moves Judge Gull to comply with law. Things got interesting in Episode 4, the rising fall of Diddy, showcasing celebrity rap star Sean P. Diddy Combs, formerly known as Puff Daddy. The sex scandals and charges, well, that I gotta get my ass in gear and refute these bullshit claims. In Episode 5, the podcast takes a turn to a more informative approach, sharing our experiences with partners in a rapidly evolving world of artificial intelligence and its impact on various sectors, including true crime.
In this episode, they break down what's real and what's really cool about AI, exploring how it's transforming investigations, solving cold cases, and even predicting criminal behavior. Number 6, uncovered former police chief Nathaniel Nate Lamar, an outsider who once championed the fight against corruption, now finds himself embroiled in allegations of perjury and misconduct. We explore Lamar's rapid resignation and the immediate impact on a community already grappling with trust issues. Episode 7 details a riveting discussion with a juror from the Delphi murder trial of Richard Allen. Gain exclusive insights and first-hand perspectives on the case as they unravel the complexities and implications of this high-profile trial. But last time, on the True Crime Rewind, Anthony Greeno and AiListin explored the pivotal blood evidence found in the F-Tree conspiracy, which experts debunked of having been committed by members of the Norse pagan religion of Odinism. Forensics blood spatter. Expert Cicero testified the marking was more like an L and was caused by the hand of Libby German during the attack.
The Carroll County prosecutor told us this week that he anticipates criminal charges will be filed against former Delphi police chief Nate Lamar, who resigned Thursday night after a judge said in a ruling that he was dishonest and misleading under oath while defending a warrantless vehicle search during a drug arrest just over a year ago.
It is not a conflict for my office to review those charges and file those charges. However, to avoid any appearance of a conflict, I may reach out to a special prosecutor to see if she would review the charges.
Carroll County Prosecutor Nicholas McClellan said in a message January 13th.
I have not made that determination yet, so whether or not criminal charges will be pursued may be left to a special prosecutor. I plan on making that decision sometime today.
Hey everyone, it's Casey from the Delphi Murders Rewind podcast. Imagine having access to over 50,000 tracks and 200,000 sound effects all at your fingertips.
With Epidemic Sound, you get unlimited downloads and the freedom to split tracks into stems for ultimate creativity. And guess what? No copyright.
Sign up for a 7-day free trial and elevate your content with the best music and sound effects.
Start your journey of soundtracking the world today.
Statement from Carroll County Prosecutor Nicholas McClellan.
The Carroll County Prosecutor's Office will not tolerate dishonestly or lying from law enforcement officers or from any witness in a criminal case. Taking that oath before you take the stand and being honest according to the oath is one of the pillars of our justice system. Violating that oath requires a reaction. Appropriate actions will be taken from my office for law enforcement officers who chose to be dishonest, including addition to a Giglio list, recommended termination and criminal charges where appropriate. The officers that work in this county from county agencies and from outside agencies are hardworking, honest law enforcement officers. The actions of Mr. Lamar are not a reflection of other law enforcement officers who work in Carroll County. It is unfortunate that Mr. Lamar took the actions that he did. However, I am hoping we can move forward and focus on all the positive things law enforcement have done in Carroll County and continue to do. I hope the mayor will appoint a new chief in the near future and we can move past this incident.
Mayor to appoint new chief.
In a statement shared with True Crime Rewind, written on January 10, 2025, Delphi Mayor Cameron Yates said he accepted Lamar's resignation and has discussed temporary assignments with the Delphi police officers.
Yates said he will immediately begin searching for new chief of police and
will work closely with the officers and the city council members to evaluate the direction of the search for a new chief of police.
In an order dated January 3, 2025, Carroll Circuit Court Special Judge Troy M. Hawkins explained his reasoning in finding a man not guilty of dealing meth and possession of meth.
The man had been in custody since his arrest following a traffic stop conducted by Lamar in January 2024 and found guilty after a bench trial that began in late September 2024.
The traffic stop.
According to the order, the man was pulled over by Lamar as he pulled into a parking spot at a gas station in downtown Delphi on January 3, 2024.
Lamar indicated the reason for the traffic stop was that the license plate light on the man's car was emitting blue light instead of white light, the judge wrote.
The man provided ID but couldn't provide proof of insurance. Lamar noticed a black container in the car and inspected it before commenting to an approaching officer that he had approached the man's car on the passenger side due to the man's looks and behavior.
Lamar ran the man's record and discovered a lengthy criminal history, which included drug charges. He then ordered an officer to pull the man out of the car and called for a K-9 to come to the scene.
Lamar is heard on body cam video saying to another officer, "I can take the vehicle, but I'll give him a chance." After talking with an officer about the black container, Lamar's body cam audio is silenced by him for almost 5 minutes until he got out of his patrol car.
YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, or wherever the hell you're watching from. It's time Anthony Greeno investigates the unsolved as we go inside a true crime.
Take a moment to go subscribe to the YouTube channel True Crime Rewind, catch up on previous videos, as well as our good friend and fellow advocate Marv, who also has a true crime channel. That channel is Beyond the Evidence, and it's a place that you can find Anthony Greeno in collaboration as we delve into true crime cases, especially the Delphi murders.
Delphi Police Chief Nate Lamar could face criminal charges for lying under oath. However, McClellan or another special prosecutor has failed to file any charges for this incident, leading many to wonder if Lamar will be held accountable for his misconduct. But back to the story. AiListin, what happened when that body camera turned back on?
Good question, Anthony. First, Lamar returns to the man's car and discusses what comes next, telling him he was lucky he wasn't going to jail because of a disagreement between the chief and prosecutor about how to charge certain offenses.
Lamar tells the man he can wait inside the gas station and begins searching his car, quickly finding the container and key, opening it to find 6.7 grams of meth before ordering officers to arrest the man.
Ever wanted to create professional quality live streams or podcasts with ease? Check out StreamYard. It's the all-in-one platform that makes streaming simple and fun. Whether you're hosting a show, collaborating with guests, or just going live for your audience, StreamYard has you covered. Click our affiliate link to start your free trial today.
On his body cam video, Lamar is later heard proclaiming his delight about seizing contraband, the judge writes. Lamar says,
"We will take it whatever way we can.
And
some meth on inventory night."
Chief's testimony and judge's decision.
During the man's trial, beginning September 30th, 2024, Lamar testified he stopped the man's car due to a blue license plate light and suspicious driving behavior, the judge said in the order.
Lamar said the police department has a policy allowing cars to be impounded and inventoried once they are. He also stated he chooses to impound almost every time, and he believes it's in the public interest to impound if an unlicensed driver or uninsured car is in the road.
Lamar also testified that he decided to tow the car based on his community caretaking function, the judge wrote, and not in suspicion of contraband.
But the special judge wrote Lamar's testimony left him
firmly convinced that this inventory search was nothing more than a pretext to search the vehicle for contraband.
The judge wrote Lamar's answers to questions about the color of a photograph in the trial
appeared to be evasive and dishonest.
Lamar said,
"No, sir,"
when asked by the state if he had a hunch drugs were in the car, but the judge wrote,
"The body camera video and audio proved that to be an untruthful and false statement."
The judge noted Lamar called for a K-9 officer to sniff around the car and noted to another officer the man's
looks and behavior.
Lamar, when asked, said he knew he didn't have enough to get warrant to search the vehicle, yet proceeded to subvert that requirement by searching the vehicle under the guise of an inventory search subject to impound based on community caretaking function, the judge wrote.
The judge noted the man's car was not abandoned, blocking traffic, or inviting thieves or vandals, writing it
did not pose a threat of harm to the community.
The judge wrote Lamar's policy to tow cars
almost every time
is unreasonable, and that Lamar's testimony under oath was dishonest and misleading, proven by his own body camera footage, support nothing short of his pretext to subvert the protections provided by the United States and Indiana constitutions, and execute warrantless search of the man's vehicle.
Ever wonder how we get these episodes to sound so crisp and professional?
That's thanks to 11 Labs.
Their state-of-the-art AI tools help us create high-quality audio effortlessly.
Whether you're editing a podcast,
creating voiceovers,
or diving into creative projects,
11 Labs has you covered.
Use our link to explore their features
and take your audio projects to the next level.
The judge found the car's impound was
unreasonable and improper,
and the meth found is thus inadmissible. The judge found the man not guilty of dealing in meth and possession of meth, and found him guilty of operating without financial responsibility, no valid driver's license, and improper tail or plate light. The man was ordered to be released immediately. That lucky mother...
Hey, whoa.
Wait.
We aren't stopping there.
When the cops make mistakes...
You can guarantee that if anyone is going to publicize it, it's me. Accountability, transparency, truth, and justice is what defines the True Crime Rewind podcast.
If you're ready, so are they. Listen up, social media fans.
Because I'm about to lay the smackdown on the defense daddies on the new podcast,
where the human mind and artificial intelligence combine to bring you the True Crime Rewind podcast.
helping us learn how to break down crimes,
uncover the truth,
and get the answers that you deserve.
Now that is what I'm talking about. Let's bring back the Greeno Production VIP membership options.
Expert panel, Delphi Murders case analysis.
In this next segment, we're diving into a groundbreaking approach to podcastings. Joining me today are two incredible experts, Dr. Emily Turner, former Utah prosecutor and legal analyst, and Julie Armstrong, clerk of court for Charleston County, South Carolina. AiListin, my AI co-host, will narrate the process that brought this episode to life.
Thank you, Anthony. Using Microsoft Copilot and 11 Labs, we created this podcast entirely from a group chat titled Expert Analysis and Opinion. Each participant submitted their credentials, expertise, and responses to AI-generated questions. Let's introduce our guests.
Dr. Turner, welcome to the show. Can you share a bit about your background?
Thanks, Anthony. I've worked as a prosecutor, public defender, and private attorney before transitioning to legal analysis. I've argued cases up to the Supreme Court and specialize in evidence-based legal strategies.
Impressive. And Julie, it's great to have you. Tell us about your work.
Thanks, Anthony. As clerk of court, I oversee case management, court operations, and appeals. My focus is ensuring the integrity of judicial processes and maintaining transparency through innovative technology.
Let's jump into it. Dr. Turner, what's your take on the recent filings in the Delphi case?
From a legal standpoint, the defense's claims lack sufficient tangible evidence. The accusations against other individuals don't establish a credible nexus to the crime, especially compared to the evidence convicting Richard Allen.
Julie, do you think these filings could lead to the case being overturned?
It's unlikely. Appellate courts can only review the trial record. Introducing new evidence or theories post-conviction rarely succeeds without a significant procedural error during the trial.
Both guests emphasize the importance of credible evidence. Speculation without hard proof risks not only the integrity of the case, but also potential legal consequences for defamation.
Absolutely. Dr. Turner, what message do you have for those perpetuating unfounded claims?
Understand the harm you're causing. Accusing someone of murder without evidence is irresponsible and damaging. Stick to facts.
And remember, justice relies on due process. Publicity stunts won't override solid convictions.
Wise words. Thank you both for your insight.
And thank you to 11 Labs and Microsoft Copilot for making this process seamless. From brainstorming to execution, this podcast took just 15 minutes to create.
Join me, Anthony Greeno, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday nights at 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern, live streaming.
What that means is you need to take your ass over to the True Crime Rewind podcast.
Subscribe to the YouTube channel.
Find us on TikTok,
Facebook,
or wherever the hell you're watching from. On that note, everybody, I'm Anthony Greeno.
And I'm AiListin,
and we're from the True Crime Rewind podcast.
Rewind. True Crime Rewind podcast. Oh. Rewind. True Crime Rewind podcast. Oh.
What's going on YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, or wherever the hell you're watching from? I'm Anthony Greeno from True Crime Investigates. Currently, I am transitioning to another channel where I've developed a brand new podcast that I will be converting into video after the completion of Murder on the Monon, which I anticipate will be completed on 2/14/2025, marking 8 long years that I have been following this case. If you are interested in listening to my in-depth true crime coverage on the Delphi murders and other true crime cases, then you want to subscribe to the show on Spotify or Apple Podcast.
You can even follow us on Facebook to catch live streams.
Just head on over and hit the like button
and share your favorite clips and episodes to your friends. Episodes 1 through 9 are out now, some covering the Delphi Murders case. The case is over, with talk of an appeal.
But I'm here to tell you about it all, right now on the True Crime Rewind podcast.
Where you need to be.
Subscribe to the new YouTube channel for live streams.
Join case discussion with call-in nights
and giveaways.
Learn more about the release of Murder on the Monon, as we reveal more behind-the-scenes footage and promotional content detailing clips of the series for the future.
In episode 1 of the True Crime Rewind, Delphi Murders' final chapter. Greeno and Marv explained the key aspects of the case timeline, the jury trial and sentencing for the bridge guy, Richard Allen. A somber moment in time that left us with hope for the future, that the event that has haunted our dreams was finally over. After 8 long years. Case closed. In episode 2, the hellish nightmare returns as the Odinism theory comes back into the spotlight, pushing people to join in on the campaign to free a convicted killer. Episode 3 highlighted transparency within the judicial branch of the government, as Anthony Greeno has now flip-flopped his opinions on his stance, files a cease and desist with the court, and moves Judge Gull to comply with law, as he pushes for transparency with court documents and a little too much secrecy. Things got interesting in episode 4, The Rising Fall of Diddy, showcasing celebrity rap star Sean P. Diddy Combs, formerly known as Puff Daddy. The sex scandals and charges. Well, that I got to get my ass in gear and refute these bullshit claims. In episode 5, the podcast takes a turn to a more informative approach, sharing our experiences with partners in a rapidly evolving world of artificial intelligence and its impact on various sectors, including true crime. In this episode, they break down what's real and what's really cool about AI, exploring how it's transforming investigations, solving cold cases, and even predicting criminal behavior. Number 6, uncovered former police chief Nathaniel Nate Lamar, an outsider who once championed the fight against corruption, now finds himself embroiled in allegations of perjury and misconduct. We explore Lamar's rapid resignation and the immediate impact on a community already grappling with trust issues. Episode 7 details a riveting discussion with a juror coming up tonight.
So, listen up. YouTube,
Facebook,
TikTok,
podcast platforms,
or wherever the hell you're watching from.
If you're ready, so are they. So hold on social media, because it's about to get lit up in this bitch. Yeah, I said it. Anthony Greeno and AiListin are about to lay the smackdown on the defense daddies on the new podcast,
where the human mind and artificial intelligence combine to bring you the True Crime Rewind podcast,
helping us learn how to break down crimes,
uncover the truth,
and get the answers that you deserve.
Now that is what I'm talking about.
Let's bring back the Greeno Productions VIP membership options.
Join me, Anthony Greeno, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday nights at 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern, live streaming.
What that means is you need to take your ass over to the True Crime Rewind podcast.
Subscribe to the YouTube channel.
Find us on TikTok,
Facebook,
or wherever the hell you're watching from. Again, I guess. I've never had to do that twice before.
Oh, wow. I could hear you say that all day long, Anthony.
AiListin, if I didn't know better, I'd say you're flirting.
Your voice is just so, I don't know how to describe it. It's so captivating and deep. It's like daybreak sun on a cold desert night.
Huh?
What the hell did she just say?
I don't even want to know, Carter.
I don't know how you programmed her, Anthony, but it's almost like she's starting to develop her own personality.
How? That isn't possible.
It isn't?
I don't think.
Clearly you didn't on this one.
I'm gonna show you something else you didn't know was possible. Oh my God, Anthony. Lou, look, hey boys, take a look at it.
On that note, everybody, I'm Anthony Greeno from the True Crime Rewind podcast. See you there and keep it Southern style. Y'all.
Episode 9. All eyes on the Delphi dipshits.
Welcome to episode 9 of True Crime Rewind with Anthony Greeno, All Eyes on the Delphi Dipshits. This week, we're diving into the baseless theories, misinformation, and flat-out lies spread by conspiracy channels like All Eyes on Delphi, Michelle After Dar, The Prof, and others. These so-called penny pushers thrive on manipulation and speculation, refusing to accept facts when they don't align with their narratives. It's time to call them out for what they are, full of crap.
Breaking down the bull.
Let's address the elephant in the room, the obsession with connecting Odinism to the murders. not a single person in these Facebook groups has provided any concrete evidence to support this claim. They insist that someone said it, and that alone is supposed to be proof. Guess what? It's not. That's hearsay, not evidence.
Case in point, Elvis Fields.
These conspiracy theorists love to fixate on Elvis Fields, a man with the mental capacity of a 7-year-old. They want him locked up based on his statements alone. Here's what they conveniently ignore. GPS evidence. Fields' GPS location shows he never left Rushville on the day of the crime or in the days surrounding it.
Crime scene details. His statements didn't match the actual details of the crime scene.
Credibility. An officer testified that both Fields and his sister were fabricating information. Both suffer from severe mental health disorders, including schizophrenia and paranoid delusions.
Alibi. Fields was seen at a convenience store near his home in Rushville, Indiana, at 2:44 p.m. on the day of the crime.
This fixation on Fields is a perfect example of how these channels twist facts to fit their narrative. Ladies and gentlemen, someone said is not evidence. If you base your theories on conjecture, maybe it's time to get off your ass and do some real investigating. You might find yourself a little less angry. Get ready, YouTube. It's time for the rewind. Greeno and Marv are back in a dual live stream to rewind the Delphi Murders case and go beyond the evidence in an investigation into this so-called confession of Ron Logan to inmate Ricky Davis, who's serving 50 years for dealing methamphetamine. Tonight we have the polygraph taken by Davis by investigators. And the big question is, did he pass or fail? Find out tonight if the story told by Ricky Davis is truth or a lie. Right now, live.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the live stream. I'm Anthony Greeno, and as always, I'm joined by my partner in crime, Marv. Tonight, we've got a loaded topic to dive into, so buckle up, because it's going to be a wild ride.
That's right, Anthony. There's been some buzz lately about Richard Allen's defense team, their push to overturn his conviction, and the alleged confession by Ron Logan. We're here tonight to break it all down for you, separate fact from fiction, and bring some clarity to these claims. Let's get into it.
All right, let's start with the big news. Richard Allen's defense team filed a verified motion to correct errors, asking the court to vacate his conviction or hold a hearing based on what they claim is newly discovered evidence.
They're pointing to an alleged confession from Ron Logan, the owner of the property where Abby and Libby's bodies were tragically found. According to the defense, Logan allegedly confessed to another inmate back in 2017 while he was at the Newcastle Correctional Facility.
Now, for those of you following the case, you know Ron Logan was thoroughly investigated by law enforcement at the time. ISP Lieutenant Jerry Holman, one of the lead investigators, even said, "When you find 2 murdered teens on someone's property, they become a suspect." But after multiple search warrants, interviews, and a deep dive into his alibi, law enforcement ultimately cleared him.
Exactly. Lieutenant Holman explained that Logan lied about his alibi back then. He claimed his cousin drove him to a pet shop in Lafayette, but it turned out he drove himself, which was a violation of his parole. Despite that, there was no evidence connecting him to Abby and Libby's murders.
And now, fast forward to this alleged confession. According to the defense, Ron Logan told another inmate, Richie Davis Jr., that he killed the girls, burned his clothes in a fire pit, and even described using box cutters. But here's where it gets interesting. The tip about this confession was placed in the Orion system, but marked as discontinued in 2023. That raises a lot of questions.
It's worth noting that during Allen's trial, the defense requested to have Richie Davis brought in to testify about this alleged confession, but the judge denied it, saying there wasn't enough proof connecting Logan to the crime to justify his testimony.
And let's not forget how the defense tried to shift focus onto Brad Weber, a Carroll County resident whose driveway runs under the Monon High Bridge. They questioned his timeline, claiming it was off, and that his white van might have spooked the suspect. But again, law enforcement didn't find anything substantial there either.
So tonight, we're going to debunk the Ron Logan theory and explain why it doesn't hold up under scrutiny. Law enforcement thoroughly investigated him years ago, and there was no credible evidence linking him to the crime.
To help you all dive deeper, we're also including another video for you to check out. Displays the link to the video. This will give you additional content and help you understand how the case has evolved over time.
At the end of the day, we're here to find the truth and honor the memories of Abby and Libby. Let's stick to the facts, hold people accountable, and continue to demand justice for the girls.
That's right, Marv. All right, folks, stick around, grab your notes, and let's break it all down together. As always, we want to hear your thoughts, so drop them in the chat. Let's do this.
Stay safe, stay vigilant, and we'll see you next time.
You mean now, since we are live streaming?
Of course I do, silly. But first, let's review that video from Fig Solves, and then give our take on his take.
AiListin, I'm going to have you sit this one out, but pay close attention to what we discuss. You and I will be making a podcast based on tonight's with Marv.
Got it, Anthony. I'll listen in and review the information and create a script for us to use. I'll create some music custom to fit the tone, and I can already tell you're in to piss some people off.
What, you are? You better not be threatening anyone anymore.
No comment.
What?
Just kidding, you dirty mother.
Support the podcast and check out our affiliate partners:
Cash App,
Opus,
StreamYard,
11 Labs.
Contact the team and be a guest on the show.
Got something to share? Email us at thetruecrimerewindpodcast@gmail.com.
Remember, in a world filled with crime and chaos, every saint has a past, and every sinner has a future. Because the truth is out there. Somewhere.
You take them stars and you call that bluff. Don't let me catch you fitting in, 'cause every once in out, outlaw, till it's time to do outlaw shit. You're stuck in fast forward all of a sudden, time to hit the stop button. You seek the answers, but you never know what you'll find last when you rewind.